Hi ladies, I hope you can hear me well. I want to wish you all a very, very happy International Women's Day. So it's lovely to come to you live today and celebrate in the fun, and I wish I could do more sort of high-tech things with Facebook Live, but I've not quite mastered it yet. So I'm here in simplicity and just coming to you from Italy and saying Happy International Women's Day. If you do join the live stream, please feel free to send me your love hearts, your comments, your questions, and just let me know you're here. It's always good to know who you're speaking to. Today it is a big day in Italy, actually. It's the first time really that I noticed International Women's Day was when I moved to Italy. Hi there, Rita, great to see you. And Parwinder, wonderful. So in Italy, they really celebrate Women's Day in a big way. You know, they have different types of celebrations going on, and I'll be getting together a little bit later with a group of friends to celebrate. But the Italians really go for it. You know, they have an appreciation of women here. They have an appreciation of beauty here. You know, I remember when I first moved to Italy, I was shocked at how vocal people were around, all the whistling and the kind of, they let you know when they are appreciating you. There's no sort of closure to that goes on. And there's something nice about it. There's a gentleness to it. It's not a horrible, harassing thing. It's actually quite a gentle thing that they have a connection to also celebrating women as mothers, as wives, as girlfriends, and they give you flowers. There's a particular flower that comes out at this time of the year that they give to you. So it's really, really cute, and it's great to be here and just in that energy. I wanted to also today, give you the opportunity to come behind the scenes with me, because even though it's International Women's Day and quite a celebration, my journey continues, my work continues around just really getting this rebrand going and underway. And lots of people have been writing to me and asking about that, which I find curious, because I just didn't really realize how many of you were considering a change yourselves, and how many of you are kind of aware that something new is on the horizon or something different is on the horizon. Maybe you've been sharing the same offers and message for a while, and now you want to bring in something different, or maybe you feel a new depth to your message and to what you're doing, and you're treading carefully towards bringing that forward. Or maybe you've changed direction altogether. I speak to people all the time that have they've just changed their direction. They thought they were going to go one way and now they're going another way. So people have been writing into me about that type of thing, and I've been really surprised at the response. First of all, I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one on the path to change, and also there's something comforting about when you see what's happening universally. Universally, it seems to me that people are hungry for your true self. Universally, people are hungry for your natural spirit. Universally, people want to connect with your journey. And that's why I'm particularly interested in the power of story and message. Since I got into this business day one, I knew that my interest resided in really the person's story. Where has the person been? What has the person experienced? Because when you connect with that part of yourself and you really allow yourself to stand up and share and stand up and give from your heart what it is you see to be truth, what it is you've been through. And I'm not talking about airing your dirty laundry. I'm not talking about saying anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. I'm talking about giving us your story in a relatable, tangible, clear way. I believe that clear story combined with a clean message, and a clean message is really a message you believe in, a message you know to be true. I believe that combination really does the heavy selling for you, because by the time people come on the phone with you or they get in touch with you, they are already connected to your essence. They've already picked up on what exactly it is about you that they trust, that they find relatable, that they want to know more about. And so it can be so easy to get waylaid with having the best webinars and having the perfect website and having the most fantastic Facebook ads. But if you're not at home in yourself and clear in your story and clean with your message, all of that is just a treadmill and a lot of effort. So for those of you that are wondering what I'm spending my time on, it has been very much translating my most recent journey over the past 2.5 years into a story that is clear, that is relatable. Because I can't get very much done with the website and the rebrand if I don't have that bit in place, if I don't have that piece going on. And so as I've gone through that process, lots of scary thinking has come up. Hi Nicola, great to have you. Lots and lots of scary thinking has come up because I've literally been like, oh my God, how do I say this? What do I say here? If I say this, what are people going to think? And so the insecurities, as they will do as you're going through change, as you're about to go into a new level, they started arising, they started showing up. And so writing my story actually took me a few weeks. And then one day I noticed that I made a few attempts at it. And then I stopped thinking about it. I went off, I went to London, I enjoyed my life again with my mom. I had a good time. And I came back and I just woke up one morning and I had it. I just had it. I had the direction that I wanted to go in with the story. And so that's what you've been seeing coming out this week. If you're on my email list, if you've read my blog, I'll post it again right after this live. If you're in the group here, you'll have seen that I literally share in the most relatable way I possibly could, given that it was quite a spiritual experience. I translated it as best I could, what I'd been through. And as a result of doing so, I've been able to pinpoint my message even more deeply. I've been able to see more deeply the reason people are coming to me, what I can offer that I know and truly believe in, and really, what makes me different, what sort of makes my coaching and my experience different. So I really encourage you all to sit down and write your story best you can. It's something I help my clients with all the time, because it's something that when we're too close to the situation, it's hard to see. It took me a number of weeks, even with support, right? And so if you can get into that for yourself, you will see a lot. You will see a lot about what you're really up to in the world. And then it's from that place, it's from that story that people actually get a feeling for you. It's so easy again to fall into this idea that it's all about having the perfect marketing plan. It's all about having the exact right words. It's all about having the perfect Facebook and social media. People really they're hungry for connection, right? And I don't know, for me, that whole thing over there, there's not a lot of soul and connection involved. There's a kind of there's a different energy there. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying, you know, that I won't use it, because I will, now that I'm clearer and clearer. It makes sense now to be able to put things out in the world more tangibly. But actually, what you can be doing today on absolutely no budget at all is sharing a clear, relatable story that comes from you, that generates connection, and people are drawn to that feeling. People are drawn to your feeling, to that well-being, to that story, to what you've been through, to what you've overcome. And there's so much juice there. There's so much power there. Nicola's writing in, I love the story, Grace. I've heard snippets of you talk about it before, but now it's all so much clearer and easier to connect with. Thanks, Nicola. Yeah, I've definitely given snippets over the last couple of years, but doing this rebrand has literally forced me into sitting down and really bringing together the journey I've been through. Great to see you, Francoise. Gosh, it's early where you are. Well done for being here. And then Nicola again writes in, I find for me that speaking the story out loud on a video helps me get clearer, and then I can listen back and write it down. That's cool, yeah. For me too, when I'm speaking, it seems quite easy, but there's nothing like actually getting it down on paper. So that's where I've been behind the scenes. I've been on paper with the story and really looking at what it is there. And for those of you that are overwhelmed, maybe your story is huge. Maybe, you know, you've had something traumatic happen. Maybe you've had something, maybe you've had a series of things and you just don't know how to narrow down. You know, I encourage you to look at, you know, what you absolutely know has changed you, and what you absolutely know to be true. You know, I could have talked about hundreds of different things in the last couple of years, but I looked for what was my big change, what was my big turning point. And as many of you will know from reading my story, my big turning point happened during a retreat, and in the space of an instant. Literally, I saw something new about myself that I'd never witnessed before, that I didn't even know was going on. So when you're not sure about what to include, should I include this, should I include that, I always say to my clients, you know, sort of really easy, where were you? What was your turning point? What happened as a result? 3 little steps there. Where were you? What was your turning point? What was the result of that? Now, within that, of course, there's more narrowing down to do. But if you can really stick to what was the turning point, what was the change, and what do you now know today to be absolutely true, your message will burst forth with that. Your direction will burst forth with that. When I first was starting out in this business, thank you for your hearts, everybody. It must have touched a heart there. When I was first starting out in this business, you know, I kind of did this accidentally. I set up a small event and I flew back to London. And at the event, I got up and I didn't know what I was going to say. So when I got up, I actually just started sharing my story of leaving my job as a school teacher in London and moving to Italy and not knowing what I was going to do next. That's all I had. I hadn't started a business. I had no traction. I had no money coming in. So I just shared my journey, literally my story at that point, about having been burnt out and exhausted and recognizing that there had to be a better way to live. And as a result of that, my very first ever client stepped forward And she said, I really connect to what you've been through. Do you think you could help me leave my day job? And instinctively I said yes. You know, that launched my business. It was really simple. It was accidental. It was me getting up and telling my story. It was me being truthful about what I'd done so far. And it really, really started to get me traction. I started sharing that story more online. I started sharing that in groups. I started sharing that on my blog. And later when I engaged with some coaching support, it was confirmed for me, look, what you did was you got up and told people where you'd been. You did it accidentally, but that's how it works. So, let's not get too bogged down in getting it absolutely perfect and right. Let's not go into overthinking about it. Let's just look at, what is your story? Where have you been? What was your turning point? Where are you today? And let's get that out into the world, because that alone, regardless of perfect anything else, regardless of whatever else is going on, that alone will have an impact. Okay, and I always say this, people will never get bored of hearing it. You will get bored of saying it over and over, probably, before anybody else will. So today, for International Women's Day, celebrate your story, celebrate where you've been, celebrate your turning point, celebrate the results of what you've been through. And let us hear about it. Share your story with the world and start to see what happens as a result of that. Now, all sorts of fear comes up, and so in part 2 of today's Facebook Live, a little later on, I'm going to help you around that. All sorts of insecurities come up about, well, what will people think, and what if I say it and they don't like it, or what if I get attacked because of it? What if they think less of me? What if I don't write it correctly? So if you have those sort of thoughts even going through your head, or the big one, I'm not sure what my story really is, join me again a little bit later. I'm going to be back here at 5 o'clock Italy, 4 o'clock UK, and 11 o'clock New York, 8 a.m. Los Angeles. And so we'll delve a little bit deeper into how you handle that. Because for me, I had got to be totally clear here. Writing that story was easy once I got out of my insecurities about what will people think, what will people say, what if I get lots of backlash for this. All of that fell away, and I got the story written. So, if those things come up for you or could come up for you, then join me a little bit later. And I'll also be sharing, now that the story has been written and is done, I'll be sharing with you the brand new exciting thing I'm actually engaging with, okay, to help me move to the next level where this rebrand is concerned. I made a really last minute huge decision about 72 hours ago, and I'm really interested in seeing what happens as a result. And I've been able to make that decision and invest in that decision now that the story is concrete. It's not finished entirely. I'm sure there will be tweaks. However, I did make some radical decision that I'm going to share with you a little bit later. And I just wish you a beautiful day. Please post below and tell me, what is your takeaway from this? Has this been helpful? And what are you doing to celebrate International Women's Day? Maybe you have a group that you could be doing a Facebook Live in or sharing in. Or maybe you have a wonderful group of girls, at home where you're having a party or having fun. I don't know. Love to know what you're doing. Lots of love and thank you for being here. Ciao.